Since you've done your research, you should know your members' policy positions and other activities that indicate what they care about. That information gives you the power to customize your pitch so it will resonate with that particular member's views and opinions. In other words, you need to develop a strategy to connect what you care about to the things that your member cares about. In many cases, the connections are obvious, things like if they're assigned to a relevant committee, but in other cases, you have to look deeper and more creatively to connect what you care about to what members care about. For example, let's say the member you're meeting with is not assigned to a relevant housing committee, but they happen to be assigned to the Veterans Affairs Committee. Perhaps you could talk about how your issue is affecting veterans. Now, here are 4 things Congress wants to know from constituents. Number 1, they want to know, what do you want me to do? The importance of having a specific ask has been covered earlier in this video, but it deserves another shout out. The fact is that most people fail to communicate a specific ask in their meetings with Congress. According to the Congressional Management Foundation, 93% of congressional staff said that it's helpful when constituents come to their meetings with a specific ask. Yet 52% of congressional staff said that happens frequently. Number 2, they want to know why you want them to do that. To be clear, they're not listening for a flawless recitation of NAA's policy statement on national data. They want to hear your reasoning, why you care enough to bring your issue to their attention. And again, the research shows that providing this information is a great way to stand out. In a survey of congressional staff, 87% said it's helpful when constituents communicate their reasoning, yet just 42% say that happens frequently. Try starting with this sentence. I'm asking you to do this because I see how this impacts my business, employees, residents, etc. every day. Then include number 3, information about how the issue impacts the member's district. Doing this will really help you stand out. While 99% of staff surveyed said that it's helpful to provide data about district impacts, only 16% say that happens frequently. On this one, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good enough. Of course, you want your data to be factual and credible, but it doesn't have to look like research conducted by MIT. Examples of district impact include things like the number of units, number of people or families or students or veterans housed, number of people employed, amount of revenue, and indirect impacts such as resulting tax revenues or area business growth. And lastly, number 4, members want you to tell them personal stories that humanize your issue. While 79% of staff surveyed say it's helpful for constituents to tell them relevant personal stories, only 25% say that constituents frequently do so. One reason for that gap is likely because many constituents tend to confuse personal stories with talking points. To be clear, talking points are policy arguments. Stories have a protagonist, they have a setting or a backdrop to provide context, and there's a challenge to overcome. Good stories also include imagery that taps into the listener's imagination and sense of empathy.